Okay, welcome back everyone to some more Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're going to be doing more Mentor Fighter. Just going to finish this off real quick. I think, like I said, don't want to be too serious with these ones. I still think I'm doing it wrong. It's kind of like, I don't know, I haven't had a series to play since the last tournament, so, hard to remember where I was in my life when I was last doing these. You know how it is, but yeah, we'll see. Try to get this stuff done. Hopefully be able to move on to some more stuff. Mentor Fighter is pretty consistent. I think that it's a great first win choice, so if you guys want to play along, please do. Like I said, would love to see people posting like their own morgs, showing me what they're up to on their characters, how they're going for the Greaterplayer run. Like, race me. Try to race me. That'd be fun, I think. I don't know. Crawl is a game that's really good when you... Oh my god, Boggarts, summoning Boggarts. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? What is even happening right now? What? Where are we? Oh my god. Alright, that's weird. Anyway. Yeah, so I want like a lot of progress from everyone. Hopefully that would work. Get some cool stuff. Alright, but yeah, depth's fairly straightforward, I think. Once your character is finished with a 2.5 rune game, you're probably decent to do depth. Some characters aren't, but this character is definitely. Blindstalker Monk of Che. Okay, that's a pretty easy character to kill, hopefully. Yep, there we go. Okay. Oh my god. Gonna have to heal here. That's this character has surprisingly less defense than you'd expect, but I think that's just more because of the power of depths and not really because of the weakness of the character himself. I think the character is pretty decent, to be honest. Like 40 armor, 20 evade is pretty decent, honestly. Like, actually not sure. I guess it's the lack of resistances, if I could say. I think that a lot of new players will like try to, I guess, like overvalue resistances, I guess, or they'll undervalue it. Like one of the two, they'll either like completely overshoot how important it is, and then they'll just prioritize it over absolutely everything, which is obviously not a great idea. Oh god, this is not good either. There's actually nothing of value in there, so there's no real point in me digging through that. Okay. Yeah, like you'll either overvalue or your resistance is too much. Like you'll try to get RF triple plus and you need RF triple plus or RC triple plus. It's completely unnecessary. But at the same time, there are also players that will try to go too hard into the, I guess, like the opposite side. They just won't care at all about. Oh god, this is kind of scary. Okay, that's an interesting proposition you have there, my friend. Alright, so it turns out that we can't actually kill enemies that are really strong, so let's try to hit them with a whole bunch of buffs. Maybe that'll fix the problem. There we go. Alright, let's go around here. Hopefully we can get, we might actually be able to get, what do you call it? Gold Dragon Armor from this. That'd be nice. Nope, no gold Dragon Armor. That's kind of a shame. Whatever. Make sure I'm heroism at least to fight those guys. Don't actually want to fight them. Alright, let's check out what this is. Chain armor is probably not good enough for us to care about too much at this point in time. This is really that good either. And crystal plate armor is good, but A, it's too expensive, and B, it's not going to give us the resistance we want anyway. And as I said before, you don't want to run around with absolutely zero resistances. You just kind of don't need more than one pip, really. If you know how the game mechanics work, you'll know that the first pip of resistance to most elements like fire and cold will give you 50% damage reduction. The next one will give you a little bit less, like 75, I think. No, 66, I think it is. And then the one after that is 75. I'm not sure about those numbers, don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. So the second and third one won't give you quite, almost, it won't give you almost as much as the first pip. The first pip gives you 50%, so it's the biggest one, obviously, by a fairly large margin. Right, here's a bunch of enemies. Let's go ahead and do the haste, heroism, finesse thing. If you don't have haste potions on hand like I do, you don't have a vamp weapon like I do, I would have probably just made a kill hole somewhere or tried to fight it with stair pulling. That's a little bit more consistent, and you'll be able to effectively increase your HP pool by having multiple rests in the same fight. It's pretty overpowered. Okay, let's heroism finesse here, just because there's a lot of enemies. Kind of scared. All right, so there's gold dragon armor. So let me explain. So 4326, as I said before, we're going to use that. Sorry, 4023 is 53. If I where's the gold dragon armor? Must have had too many slots. Okay, let's get rid of this. See invisible. We'll get rid of the extra wand of pasting because we're not going to be able to use it because we're going to be recharging the first one anyway. We'll drop some beef jerkies and some pizza slide. No, we'll drop some bread rations for now, I guess, just to clear up a little bit more. Alright, so 53, this gives us 56, sorry, this is 63, the other one gives us 56, so that's 7 AC, 7 total stats, and in return I get 1 pip of cold resistance and 1 pip of poison resistance. Now that's actually almost worth it, but I still think that the fire resistance plate is still good. Like, I think that both have their merits, but in this case I've already put enough into the fire plate that it's pretty strong, so I think I'll just use this for now. I don't think it matters too much. Regen is good for my amulet. It's probably pretty much the best one, but a +5 reflection amulet's also quite good. I'm not sure exactly which one I want. I think in this scenario it's actually better for me to use the reflection, and the reason why is because I have a vampiric weapon. The vampiric weapon lets me heal already, so the regen is slightly less important. Like, this is one of the few cases where I'd actually go away from a vampiric weapon, a regen amulet over. Sorry, I'm going for a vamp weapon. No, I'm going for a regen weapon or amulet because I have a vamp weapon. Yeah, there we go. I'm foregoing it, sorry, and I'm replacing with a very high end reflection. Reflection can go from 1 to 6. Okay, this is bad enemy to fight. So heroism finesse kills it instantly. We don't even have to take damage from it. It's good. That's not an enemy you really want to have like beating on you at any point. Caustic strikes are overpowered. They have been tuned down a little bit, but they're still very strong. Let's haste here. Seems like a fairly scary fight. Yeah, as you can see, I took like a lot of damage from Menace. He's very scary. Generally speaking, if you're a melee, you can take him out. He will crush smaller, weaker melees. So just be very careful. My character needed to haste, heroism, finesse, and we still almost died. It's pretty crazy. So just be careful with that. Alright. Okay, we want to back away from that purple guy because we don't want to have him summoning stuff. We want to have him out of line of sight as long as possible until we're fighting him. So there you saw he summoned an enemy even in the brief period that I was there. So it's not great, obviously. Alright, depth 5, pretty straightforward, I guess. Saint Roka is kind of a scary enemy. Alright, I need to get in the middle of these guys because right now, when I was fighting that bone dragon, I was taking damage, but I couldn't heal it back because Vamp doesn't work on like the undead and enemies that have resist negatives, so you gotta be kind of careful. Most enemies you can vamp off, but there are a couple like shadow dragons that do a lot of damage and you can't actually heal off them. Demons, hell sentinels, like those are another type of enemies. Another type of enemy. Orbs of fire, same. Like those kind of enemies you actually can't vamp off, so be careful, guys. Vamp does not make you invulnerable. It's simply something that makes you very strong if you know exactly what you're doing with it. Alright, perfect. And again, like let's go over the heroism and finesse count now, right? So heroism has been used 97 times already, and finesse has been used 5. That doesn't sound right. What? I really only used finesse 5 times. No, 29 times. There we go. So as you can see, I've used my abilities about 130 times now in the course of this 1.5, not even hour game. So that indicates how much you can use Aqualara piety. And look, I'm still at full piety. Like, I'm still full. It doesn't matter. Like, don't hoard your stuff. That's the easiest thing that you can. That's the easiest mistake you can make. That's why I do kind of like Trog a little bit more, because Berserk is free. It does get people into the habit of just using it because it's so damn free. But yeah, they tend, like, Berserker tends to, another thing that new player Berserkers will try to do is preserve their piety from using like Trog's Hand and Brother-in-Arms, and that often gets them killed. Brother-in-Arms is so good, and people not using it makes my heart hurt. Like, yes, I've been using it less because I speedrun, and it's more efficient for me to not use Brother-in-Arms, because A, I'm going to berserk everything and I don't care if I die that much, and B, I'm very confident in my ability to know when to berserk, and C, I need those gifts for that vamp weapon, so, that's the reason why I don't Brother-in-Arms quite as much on... Ooh, poise. Oh, that's a pretty decent ring for poise, I guess. I guess we'll put it on, but we'll just remove cursor and then just put the magic resist back on, I guess. Alright, so this is like a fairly free Volts 5. Vamp weapon, Aquawaru, haste, like, there's really nothing that's like gonna kill us in here. This is not like an ordinary level of gameplay. Like, you should take it a little bit more seriously, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Like, this character is just specifically very strong, so don't try to take from the example. And even if I am strong, you can still very easily die, so just be very careful. Okay, so I can't vamp off that, so just keep that in mind. Trying very hard to not get corroded, but it's not working at all, so let's go ahead and haste again. So we're contaminated now. We're going to be taking maybe a mutation. That's fine. Like, don't worry too much about mutating yourself in a situation where, like, you could be dead. You know what I mean? Like, prioritize. I know I say a lot about, like, don't quaff mutation, but, like, when it comes to, like, actually important stuff, like surviving because you want to haste twice in a row, just do it. Like, the mutation is secondary. The reason why I say don't quaff mutation potions is because that's just going to kill you. Like, and you don't really gain too much for it. But if it's for survival's sake, yes, then do it, obviously. Alright, so this doesn't look like it has the rune in it. That's kind of a shame, but whatever. Our first quadrant does not have it. So I like to take a little bit of a slightly more like robust approach to exploring Vault 5. I like to kind of explore more than I normally would have to, and I like to just make sure that everything's kind of safe. This character does not need it quite so much, but it's still like pretty good, I guess. Like, as you can see here, I've explored the whole top little thing there. That just means that, like, I'm trying not to get backspawned, but of course I'm still gonna get backspawned, but it's not quite as bad, I think. Alright, this one doesn't seem to have the rune either. Oh, I know it does. Okay, good. So, if I was speedrunning, I would have walked away from this place right now, like, because I'm done. But there's no need, so I'm just gonna go ahead and oh, Arlek is really good. It's a great ring to pick up. We don't need this Vamp Battle Axe at all anymore, to be honest. Anything else? I guess we can eat this royal jelly. So the corrosion resistance would ordinarily indicate that you can do the slime rune, and I guess I can do it this time around, but maybe I shouldn't. Oh god, that was kind of scary. So yeah, there you can see the Shadow Dragon the Vamp not working on the Shadow Dragon, and I'm surprised that I saw that many Shadow Dragons. Like, that was actually a lot. Alright, here I need to Heroism, Finesse, and Haste. An Ancient Lich is no joke. Let's get some strength. Gonna go ahead and focus the Lich down. I know I'm corroded, but I know that with this many buffs on me, it doesn't matter too much. Like, 4 slaying is not going to be incredibly important in the grand scheme of things. Okay, need Heroism, Finesse again. Definitely need to Might again. I'm actually gonna Might as well, just to make sure I don't die. Like, that's a really dangerous situation. I'm popping like consumables left, right, and center, but it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things again. Like, I still have like 8 potions of haste. The thing about Minotaur Fighter is that you'll notice that your resources stack up way faster than you use it because unlike less robust counterparts, the Minotaur Fighter can get away with just tabbing stuff that other melees could never hope to tab. Like, so you will get a lot more resources than you would like later on in your Greaterplayer run. So that's why I chose Minotaur as the first one. You tend to be able to like get away with stuff more. It's just much more convenient for you, I guess. Alright, so let's look at our rings. There's absolutely nothing in here. Plus 2 protection is not even worth it. Dagger of Morgue, that's really sick. And the and the Leech Demon Blade. It's 2 unran dots in one shot. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Alright, here we're taking a bit of damage, but Vamp Weapon, like I said, like the Vamp Weapon just completely cancels out a whole bunch of like these threats. It's quite nice. Scroll of Silence is actually not a bad thing. You can use it on Ancient Liches in a real big pinch, but it will screw you over more often than it screws them over. Like it has to have a very specific use for it, so just be aware of that, I guess. Alright, we ended up picking up a Disintegration Wand. If that's the only one we have, yeah, we'll go ahead and IT that. We'll also drop one of the lower charge Digging Wands. Oh, 2 of them actually. There's no real reason that we need more than 21, so just relax, I guess. Don't need. There's another Shadow Dragon. Damn, there's a lot of Shadow Dragons, man. Alright, Scroll Shop, nice. Just gonna pick up all these rechargings. That's gonna make my character pretty much ridiculous because now I have that's like the equivalent of buying like 20 charges of like whatever the hell I want. That's pretty insane if you think about it. Probably just gonna buy these. I have a lot of money anyway. Gonna get a Beneficial Mutation. I got Fur, which gives me AC +1. It's a very meh mutation. That's what I mean. Like, the good mutations tend to be kind of meh, and the bad mutations tend to be like really bad. So it's generally speaking a lot easier for your life, for your survivability if you just don't touch mutations whenever you can. It's much better for you. Alright, let's head over to Zot. So we got our 3 runes. This is like the very stock standard Minotaur Fighter. Most first players, or pre-win guys, or even new players, just like pre-Greaterplayer, will generally get like this kind of setup going. 3 runes, good melee. Looking at your resistances, you got absolutely none, but you got a lot of hot swap items, including the Ring of Fire, just in case you need that. Just in case you want to fight that Orb of Fire. So I like to dive. It's completely up to you whether you want to dive or not. I dive because A, I know what I'm doing, and B, for me it feels a bit safer because I lose less resources. But that doesn't mean that it's correct necessarily. I only do it because I've done it so many times that it just is second nature to me. If you're unconfident with your game, take time. Just don't stress. Like, you could gain more XP than I have gained just by clearing instead of diving. You might even get some more resources if you're stuck. If you're running out of resources, just do it. Don't worry about diving. Like, I'm only diving, like I said, because it's easy for me. Like, I've already cleared Zod. Okay, so this is like one of those situations where I would either clear or I wouldn't do this at all. I would actually go find a different staircase and go down that one, because that one there is a really bad staircase. It's really far away from everything else. Alright. I see enemies down there. I'm just going to go ahead and clear them out because it should be fairly straightforward to do so. And also because if I absolutely need a place to rest, then this can work in a pinch. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that that area is relatively clear. Alright, there's a bunch of enemies here. Normally I would Heroism, Haste, and whatever, but in this scenario, like, Vamp Weapon's just going to clear it all out. Alright, so this is the downstairs that I want because it's really close to the two downstairs. Any staircase that's like next to 2 other ones of the so this upstairs is next to 2 downstairs, it's actually really valuable, so I'm very happy with that. And these 2 staircases are also really good because they're very close to the Zot entrance. So your first win will always obviously have to go through Zot, right? And I might actually make a new video about like what you need to complete Zot, but for the time being, just be aware that you need resist fire, and magic resist is pretty good, and elect damage is resistance to electricity is also pretty good. So just keep all of that in mind. But other than that, the most important thing that you need to do is take your time. Like a new player should spend a long time in Zod 5. It should be one of the longest floors in the game. Like, you should be very patient, very happy to just sit back and do absolutely nothing for like 1,000 turns, just to rest off something or pull a single enemy out of like position. Like, just do the most ridiculously like conservative stuff. Like right now, I'm like exploring one tile at a time. Second I see an enemy, I start backing off immediately, even though it's like not really an enemy. It's ordinarily an enemy I could fight. So here is a really bad situation, so I'm just going to go ahead and put every single buff I have, or every single convenient buff that I have, just to completely do that. I'm going to back off all the way to the upstairs, and then rest on the upstairs. You can afford to be very conservative in Zot 5, like extremely so. Because it doesn't cost you anything. Like, at this stage in the game, all you've got left to do is win. So here's a Orb of Fire. I'm going to go ahead and Viola Floods it just to start off. I'm going to put my Ring of Fire on, Heroism, Finesse, and hit him. And we took him out pretty quickly. Balls of Fire will do a lot of damage, just be extremely careful when you're doing it. Be conservative, be good. Alright. So there's the Tentacled Monstrosity. Good. Oh man. Alright. Again, pulling back. Very easy. Straightforward. Oh, there's another Orb of Fire. Okay, so I'm going to first of all read a fog, pull back into the fog, haste, might, and finesse. I don't think that in this scenario heroism is as important, just because it's like it's only giving me 5 to all stats, which is like not really that good anyway. So at this point in time, we've pretty much like solved the game. Like I notice how after like the second rune, I just stopped caring about training at all. That's kind of to make a point. Like, I don't really care about training anymore, because for a melee like this, it's already been determined. Once I got my weapon to Mindalay, once I got my fighting to 27, realistically, it's all up to you. More dodging, more armor is great. Like, you can get magic. Oh god. So here I got teleported. Definitely want to haste, and I want to agility and might and hero and finesse, and we're just gonna hold the line here while we wait for the telly to kick in. Okay, the telly didn't kick in properly. Son of a bitch. Okay, let's go ahead and read this thing. Let's drain our poise weapon. Okay, it's fine. Alright, so I think it's more convenient for me to just kind of clear this from this side now. This is kind of scary though. Like, this is not a good idea by me. I ordinarily should be just teleporting, but this character is really strong. Like I said, don't be cocky. I'm being cocky, because, yeah, that's what being cocky costs me. Alright, let's go ahead and read a summoning scroll. Start healing. Don't want to drop below half health ever in Zot. Alright, we only have 1 RF, remember that, so we're actually taking a lot of damage from those Orbs of Fire. Okay, so we cleared this side apparently. Doesn't really matter which lung you clear anyway, so I guess that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and clear the whole thing, I guess. Screw it. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, it's not that good. Alright, so these mutations are really bad, so I'm gonna go ahead and quaff it out. So as you can see there, oh, that was lucky. As you can see there, the jittery, like the random telly, almost got me killed there. If I was a less powerful character, I would probably be dead, or at least in a really bad situation, and I would be panicking. And if I was a new player, I'd be panicking and then die. So, you know, like, just don't be an idiot, basically. Don't. Oh god. Let's put the fire ring on this time, so we don't take as much damage. I think this should be enough. Yep, good. Like I said, just don't be an idiot. Don't like overestimate yourself. Don't go for mutations, because it's pretty bad. Like, fairly straightforward lessons. A lot of players will pretend that they didn't hear it because they want to play mutation roulette, and then they'll die, and then they'll be like, oh, It's Demise's fault. Nope. I ain't taking responsibility for you. Alright, so everything is pretty much solid. I'm going to go ahead and recharge the Heal Wounds wand preemptively, and I'm going to keep one recharging on me just in case I need like more haste or Heal Wounds. Probably not going to need either, really, but you know, just in case. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, all my charges in one wand. I don't know. Alright, and after this, just press GDO. You can go ahead and like check every upstairs to like shorten the path, absolutely like shorten the path, dig through walls and all that crap. But that tends to take a long time for me, so I just don't do it. I just press Shift G, Shift D. Oh, like it's a very like fast way of just getting out. It automatically takes you to the exit. All you have to do now is analyze any threat, and realistically, that will come down to just experience. You'll know very quickly, you'll find out very quickly that Panlords are not something you want to fight, because they're very random in the way that they're generated. Anything with a Tormentor you want to kill ASAP, unless it's more convenient for you to run away, like you're one step away from the staircase. Like, just don't be a fool and walk away from a Tormentor while it's just tormenting you like 10 times in a row. That's not a smart move, guys. Like, Ultra does it a lot, and I want to punch him in the face, because he's losing his tournament streak. He almost lost like a streak to that. Just randomly walking away. Oh, was that Ultra or was it Alcohol? I think it was Alcohol. It was bad. Alright, so here's a Panlord. I'm just going to go ahead and haste. Sometimes they're faster than you, and they'll catch up to you, like this. So you just check what it does. It can hit for up to 39 damage. That's not a lot. It's a very high evade. I'm going to go ahead and teleport, and then finesse, and just see if I can fight it. Alright, no, actually that's not a good idea. Look, as you can see, I can't even kill it. Alright, I'm gonna pull up. Okay, I got Abyss. That's really bad for us. Well, it's not terrible. The Abyss is like not too hard. It's just that... Oh, crap. This could be hilariously bad. Okay, well, we got Abyss by the Lich. Even through our protection from magic, so that's kind of unfortunate. Gonna go ahead and pick up whatever I can here. Okay, this is... Is this a rune? Okay. I mean, I guess we're gonna get the rune then. If it's convenient, I mean, I suppose. Whatever, we'll just walk through. Come on, let's go. Let's go, boys. Come on. Yeah, give me the rune. Yeah, I'll take it. Don't fear me, you dummy. Oh, that's a way out too. How convenient. Let's go ahead and read a teleport. Pull away. Go upstairs. Oh, well, I guess this is a 4 rune. So that's how you do the Abyss rune, just in case you were wondering. Okay. Well, our first win was a 4 rune, so that works, I guess. Yeah, that was pretty interesting, I guess. So it was an hour 30. That's not ordinary for a first win, so just ignore that part. But it was a Minotaur fighter, High Priest of Okawaru. 4 runes, very classic three rune game. Wink. Okay, very classic first win. You see Minotaur fighter, Minotaur gladiator, Minotaur, berserker, you know, that kind of stuff. Gargoyles, first wins, a lot. It's pretty good. So this would generally be our first win, right? And then you would have to ask yourself, okay, what's the lesson that the first winner would actually be learning in this scenario? So we learned a lot of things in our first game. So we learned, what do we need to win? What kind of character can we build to win? Using resources is really good. Make sure dying is really important. Like, don't die. If you don't die, you win. You know what I mean? Like, so using the resources to survive is important. What else do we need? I don't know, like, use your god abilities, because that's a resource. I don't know. There's a lot of first win principles that I'm trying to like think about now. Well, I guess there's also like the idea that you don't want to go for extended in your first run. Don't limit the amount of knowledge you have to understand before you get your first win to just the 3 rune, because once you go to the 15 rune, it means you need to know more about the game and you're more likely to die. Putting yourself at risk of a 15 rune is completely unnecessary for a game, especially for your first win. And realistically, no one gives a shit if you've won your first game as a 15 rune. It actually makes no difference. Because the 15 rune as your first win, like, newer players are going to be like, wow, okay, you won. I've never won, so I don't even know how to comprehend that. The older players are going to be like, why are you telling me this? It's a 15 rune, dude. Everyone does that. I can do it bare, like I can do it blindfolded. Come on. So realistically, it doesn't matter. Just go for your 3 rune win. Do the good stuff. I think like I can't really explain how it works, like in terms of like another game. I don't know. It's like okay, so imagine like you're playing StarCraft, right? And then you take from like the best player in the world, the best like Zerg player in the world, and you take their build and you do exactly what they do to win, right? But really, like you oh no, hang on, how do I explain this? All right, you see someone do a cannon rush. So a cannon rush is where you go in and build towers next to the enemy team, and then the towers kill their stuff. It's a cheese. It's a type of really early game rush, and you see that being done in like a really cool tournament, and then you're like, oh, I need to do that. So then you work on you try to win a lot with that cannon rush build. But realistically, it doesn't actually make you learn what you need to know. It just teaches you that you can cannon rush people real good. You know what I mean? This is kind of like the same thing. I guess the analogy fell apart, but essentially what I'm trying to say is if you're going to be 15 runing, you can do it after you've developed the basics. There's no point in going for a 15 rune as your first win because in reality, by the time you get to greater player status, no one actually cares because you can do 15 runes whenever you want. Um, 15 runes aren't harder, they just need more knowledge. And realistically, your character maxes out in terms of like power pretty quickly. Like you guys don't, maybe you don't know if you haven't won the game, but like once you get to level 27, really your character doesn't become more powerful randomly. The stats that you can possibly get are like fairly easily capped. The weapon you can get is like pretty much easily capped again. Like what's better than an executioner axe of holy? Like that's not. It's pretty much it, right? That's your weapon. You're not gonna get like a plus 12 one. You can't enchant it further. Same thing goes with like armor and stuff. It's all going to be the same. The only difference is that you can get spells as a 15 rune game on a fighter, and you can get like large shield and like other crazy stuff on mages. Realistically, the 15 rune game is not incredibly important, but so this is going to follow, like I said, the build path of a new player. So at some point, I will be doing a 15 rune because I will be showing you how to conservatively build the basics before going into a 15 rune. I guess like per the usual, this kind of video will eventually just devolve into don't do a 15 rune. But at some point you will be able to do one, so I'm going to be following that in my Greaterplayer run, like I said. So just stay tuned for that. But the first part will be building the basics. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Probably gonna be doing another one of these runs. Might actually just add in a bit of Cataclysm or some other thing, just for a bit of fun, but we'll see. Until then.